Okay, we're talking to the Wand Fairy, and I've got a couple of backstory questions. Um, I want to know what led you to actually take the shot in the first place. What led you to do something that ultimately changed your life?
Well, honestly, it was a little bit of both. It was frustration, first of all, that I hadn't seen my family in over a year because my family was the type that wouldn't get together, wouldn't hug, none of that. In April of 2021, my 40th birthday was approaching. And actually, this was in March. And I had invited my family, like, hey, it's my 40th birthday. That's a huge deal. We're going to have a party, right? We're going to get together, right? And then it was a, oh no, you're not vaccinated. We're not coming to your 40th birthday party. So my mom has COPD, and that was like the card that they pulled was, if mom gets COVID, she's gonna die. She has COPD. COVID will absolutely kill mom, and you're gonna kill mom if you don't get, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that's basically where the motivation for it came through. I actually didn't even post about the shots when I got them because it was such a polarizing topic. I didn't want to be involved in that. It was like a private decision that I made. I didn't discuss it with anyone. My little baby brother and I went together. But basically, for the same reason, we just wanted to get life back to normal and just go back to being able to hug our family.
Okay. And give me the timeline of how the shots affected you.
So March 27th, 2021, I got my first shot and my heart rate stayed over like 160 after that. I reported that to my doctor. They're just like, oh, well, we'll make you an appointment with a cardiologist. You should probably get that checked. You are almost 40. Your heart's probably going to start messing up, that kind of thing. Got it checked out by a cardiologist. They monitored my heart. They told me I had tachycardia. It was because I was fat and to go ahead and get my second shot. So I did on April 20th. And within an hour of that second dose, I was acutely ill. I had completely left my body. I started having all kinds of neuro issues. My head felt like it was on fire. My face felt like I was on fire. Um, just like an intense pain in the back of my skull that lasted for like 200 days almost. I started spitting blood, all kinds of horrific things within an hour of the second dose.
Okay, and how many doctors did you see throughout this period of time asking for help?
About 24. So the last one I counted. Yeah.
24 doctors,
Yep.
and they were unable to do anything for you.
Nope. The only thing they would do for me is throw steroids at me, give me like, a round of steroids, a round of antibiotics, and then just say, follow up with your doctor. That's pretty much all they did. I had six neurologists walk into the room at the same time at Cleveland Clinic and tell me that I had functional neurological disorder, which is basically saying I had conversion disorder when I couldn't walk. So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Enter the wand. Yeah,
Yeah.
walk me through.
Yeah.
Walk me through what happened um, with each time you used the wand.
Okay, so the day that my wand showed up, I was violently ill. I was having one of my gastrointestinal episodes where I would just vomit and retch for hours. So it was about 8 hours of vomiting the day that my wand got here. Um, so I went ahead and did it. Like I was really, really sick. Was not into it at all, be quite honest with you, because I've tried so many things. But I went ahead and did it because I had seen Kevin's success, Kevin Street, if you know who he is. He's also one of my close friends. So I went ahead and did it begrudgingly. I'll admit that it was very begrudgingly, and I went to bed. The next day I woke up. I was pretty tired, but I knew I would be because I had been vomiting the day before. I felt pretty sluggish, but I went ahead and I did a second. And I'm sorry, let me back up. I only did 10 minutes my first time. The second night I did 15 total. And then I woke up. I got my one on a Wednesday. And so I woke up on Friday after two sessions and like all my brain fog had lifted, my vision had come back, my ear ringing was much quieter. My body didn't feel sick anymore. Like I felt like things were circulating as they should and operating as they should, which I hadn't felt in 561 days. So that was day 3. I would say 80% of my symptoms had just dissipated almost overnight. It was wild. And I just sat on the edge of my bed and sobbed for like a good hour because I was convinced I was never going to feel like myself ever again. So, that was a very incredible moment for me to feel like Stacy again because I had it for so long. And, it's just been everything, I've got over eager and over wanded since I've gotten my wand. So that I've done that too because you feel so good. You just want to try it on everything. I urge everyone to go very slow. It's a very powerful tool. But ever since then, I've dialed it in. I'm still at my 20 minutes a day. I'm a month in, and I do 6 days on, 2 days off because I do like to take a break, give my body a rest. But I'm doing great. I still can't believe it, honestly, because of how sick I was just a month ago.
Okay. So the takeaway from that is start slowly, give it a
Yes,
chance to work,
yes.
and don't overstress your body because it is a very, very profound device.
Yes, yes. It's a very powerful detox. I'm familiar with detox symptoms. If someone isn't, it can probably be pretty shocking. But I had been a water faster for years, off and on, prolonged fasts, stuff like that. So I kind of knew what to expect. If someone's never done a detox or not familiar with that, I highly recommend going very slow, because the detox symptoms can be uncomfortable. But they're temporary. Every time I've had any detox symptoms, as soon as they lift, I feel 20 times better than I did the day before. You know what I mean? So it's worth it to me.
Right. Well, it's the body getting rid of toxins that have been weighing down your metabolism for like
Yes.
ever.
Yeah, and you can actually feel it. It's like a sludge is being released out of your body. It's crazy, but it feels amazing.
That's excellent. So,
Mhm.
what is your life like today?
Well, I've ever since I because I believe in this device so much and how it changed my life so quickly, I was like, I have to help get these into people's hands. So, now I'm an affiliate for the company and I'm on the leaderboard, and this is now my full-time job. I actually quit my day job to fully focus on this and helping change people's lives and get them back to healthy because it's just so important right now, especially in the state of affairs the world has been in the past few years. I feel like this is just perfect timing to get hope back in people's lives.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. I really appreciate your story and I appreciate you coming on today. And uh, parting words, parting words for anyone that's looking into this.
Do your research. Don't buy unless you're absolutely comfortable. I do feel like everybody that buys anything for their health needs to be very comfortable with it, 100% comfortable. It's an investment into your health. It is an expensive purchase for most families, but it's absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. And I haven't found a single thing with any of my clients that it hasn't improved. Every client that's purchased from me thus far that is, named anything under the sun, will it help this, will it help that, I'm like, let's try it, let's see. And every single person has come back with a positive report, so it's pretty incredible stuff.
And the important takeaway is start slow and pay attention to your body.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
We're not recommending that anybody buy a wand just because they've been vaccinated and have problems.
No.
We have no way of knowing whether the machine is going to help or not.
Hmm.
So this is what happened to Stacy. We've had other people that have had similar situations. We're just letting people know, and everybody has to make their own independent decision as to whether or not they think it will help them. But
Right.
we're not saying it's going to help them.
Yeah, we can't ever really say that, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
It's
Mhm.
not a medical device. It's just
Yeah, it's not a medical device. What it does to everybody. It
Mhm.
expands the microcirculation. It actually helps get the lymph moving again. It expands the release of the stem cells in your body, and it's based on Chinese medicine, acupuncture points, and meridians and energy concepts. It does no medical usage whatsoever. It just seems that people who use it get better.
Mhm.
Many people have had all kinds of chronic problems for years that they've never been able to resolve. and after they use the wand, they seem to feel better. Everybody's an individual, and there's no way of knowing whether it's going to help them or not.
Right.
I have a question. So how long did you suffer before you got the wand? How long?
It was 561 days. I stopped counting on 560 day. 561 is the day my wand arrived. I used it that night.
And you were just at your wit's end to the
Oh,
point.
absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't see the point in getting up every day and feeling the way I felt and struggling to, like, it was a struggle for me to just walk to the bathroom. Like I would have to lay in the bed and talk myself into getting up to go to the bathroom, to get up to drive my son to school, to get up to take a shower, to get up to work. I had to like psych myself up, talk myself into every single thing I did, every activity, every single day for 561 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I-
and it was like carrying around like I explained it to people like the weight of the sickness felt like I was carrying a sandbag, like a sand blanket around all the time, just this heavy fatigue, lost, disoriented feeling. It was awful.
Did you did you have like narcolepsy? Did you feel like you were gonna fall asleep driving him to school and stuff?
I would get lost while I was driving. That's why I stopped driving, because I would just be on the road and forget that I would just, all of a sudden I'd be in the car and be like, where am I going? What am I doing? And I'd look around, my son's in the car with me. I have no idea where I'm at. Can't say anything because I don't want to freak anybody out. Um, but yeah, it was like it's so hard to describe in words, but it was like somebody else was driving my vessel. That's why I tell people, I am not driving this vessel. Someone else is driving this vessel. Because it was just so intense, like so intense how I wasn't present in my body.
Yeah. I just can't even fathom.
Were you working during this period?
Yeah, I was actually for the first, I think it was until from April to August, I attempted to work and I was a long distance driver. So my typical day was like driving 12 to 16 hours a day and then usually camping in my van or a hotel room and then coming back. That was my job. And I loved it because I love traveling. But I was getting sick on the road to where I couldn't even make it to my destination, couldn't even make it back home. I'd be stuck sometimes in my van for days, just in a flare, couldn't move, couldn't get out of the back of my van. It was bad. It was really bad. So I had quit in August of 2021. That's when I lost the feeling on my right side and my facial paralysis started and my speech issues started in August of 2021. Um, then I found out like 7 or 8 months later that I actually had a stroke when the Cleveland Clinic told me I didn't. So yeah, I
Well,
was trying to work like that with a stroke, with a fresh stroke.
My gosh.
I think
Yeah.
these are really important details to put in your story up front, kind
Yeah.
of the chronology of just what happened to just what these people did to us.
Yeah, and I made a list at one point because there were so many symptoms. People were asking what my symptoms were. My brain fog was so thick I couldn't just sit there and list them all. There were so many. So I actually did make a list at one point. But yeah, the torture that I went through, like going to the emergency room and spitting up blood and they're telling me that it's in my head, and then going and having an actual stroke and them sending me home telling me it's in my head. It's just insane.
Who found out you had the stroke finally?
It was a really sweet Russian neurologist, down in Cincinnati, like, which is like an hour from here. I just wanted a second opinion and I'm like, something is off. I still can't walk. I'm still having this weird, because I had no sensation in the lower half of my legs for whatever reason. They couldn't figure out why. And then my right side would just go completely numb and my speech would go and all this stuff. So I just wanted a second opinion. So I took her my, MRI disc and she ran a bunch more tests, did some more nerve tests, all that stuff. And then when she looked at my disc, she was like, did they tell you that you had a stroke? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? She's like, yeah, it's right here. She pointed at it, showed it to me on the screen. And
Wow.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. She's like, nope. And she's like, did you also know? Think she counted the lesions on my brain. I had like over 47 lesions on my brain.
Now, did they surface? Did you have sores on your head or?
Nope, they're lesions on my actual brain tissue. It's usually what they see with patients with MS.
Uh-huh.
So that, yeah, I had 47 of them, 48, something like that.
Oh.
Do you have any follow-up information on the condition of those lesions now?
I don't, but I just got my referral for because I was actually supposed to go see an MS specialist next. So I imagine they're going to want to do an MRI. I'm going to let them because I'm very curious to see if they're just all gone because it's almost like I could feel certain ones in my brain because I could tell when my brain would swell that I wouldn't be able to see out of my eye a certain way or certain words I would get stuck on more. It was like different parts of my brain were swelling and affecting those lesions. When I'd go back and look at my MRI disc, I'm like, okay, what part of the brain is this and what does it affect? And could it be the swelling that's causing this? And then I'd look at that part of the brain and see which speech center is there. And you know what I mean? Like I was trying to figure out so many things because there were so many things going on at once. But yeah, I want that repeat MRI really bad because I have a feeling
So
that
do I.
none of them are there.
So do I. I really want to know.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm like, I don't really want to subject myself to that contrast again, but at the same time, I'm so just my scientific nerd brain wants to see and also be like, haha, I told you something was wrong, that kind of thing. So
Telling you to lose weight and feel great. I don't.
yeah, and that's the thing is like they kept shoving me full of steroids. So I went from 300 pounds when I got my shot to 365 within like 3 months. And I was just absolutely miserable and so swollen and inflamed. And they kept telling me to lose weight. I'm like, you're pumping me full of steroids, telling me to lose weight and making me worse. It was awful.
So have you been able to take the weight off now?
I've lost 30 pounds since I started using the wand. But I had lost about 35 pounds right before I got the one because of all the gastro issues. I just couldn't eat. So I
Yeah.
was fasting on purpose, but also unintentionally as
Yeah.
well, because my gastro issues had become so bad. But that was actually a good thing because I got my blood work going in the right direction with fasting, which I personally love fasting. But it was like when I was sick, food was one of the only things I could still enjoy, kind of,
Yeah.
because a lot of people had reactions to food and stuff. I didn't. I was like, thank God, at least I can eat something I enjoy each day. But it got to the point where I couldn't even do that.
When I got the COVID, like so they say, everything tasted salty, really super salty.
Oh, okay.
And my legs were so weak I couldn't walk. Were you in a wheelchair?
I had a walker and a cane. I really didn't go anywhere, to be honest with you. When I went to the hospitals or doctor's appointments, I always used a wheelchair, but I didn't really leave my house because I couldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So
How did you support yourself during that period?
donations for people on TikTok. So then when they shut down my TikTok and censored me, I was really screwed. They really screwed me up.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to take out I've got a $15,000 loan I'm paying right now that I had to take out to pay off all the credit cards I had charged up because I had no other choice but to put my rent on credit cards, put my bills on credit cards. What else am I going to do? And then I think about people that didn't have that option, like what if I hadn't had that option?
Yeah, exactly.
Were you
So
forced to
you
take
have-
the shot?
I'm sorry.
Were you required to take the shot?
No, my family pressured me into it because my mom has COPD and they told me they wouldn't attend my 40th birthday party if I didn't get it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They
Mhm.
don't, and then none of that family speaks to me now.
Peer pressure.
all
Yep.
my family took the jab, but I didn't. And so I just saw my mom for the first time in 2 years, a couple weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
She's 97. And that was a lot of lost time that I could have had,
Yes.
you.
Yeah, isn't that so sad?
It
It's
is.
just, yeah, I think that
Everybody
was what, like my
planned.
gut, to be honest with you, my gut was telling me not to do it the whole time. Like I was breaking out in the sweat both times I was there. I just knew something was off, but there were so many things swirling in my head. And
Mhm.
I just wanted to have a normal day with my family.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
So how old is your son?
He's 14. My daughter's 20.
So was he able to kind of take care of himself, or did you have help with him?
Yeah, he was actually more or less like my caretaker because he comes here every other week. So every other Friday he comes here and he stays here for a week. So those weeks that he was with me, I looked forward to it because I needed his help. Like he would help me get ice water, get to the bathroom, get my medicine, all that stuff.
So he wasn't affected anyway. Did he get the shot?
No, he did not get to shot. I won't allow it.
Oh,
No.
thank God.
No, I I didn't think any child should ever have it. That was never something I thought, you know what I mean? That it just was like never crossed my mind that kids should have it. I was like, no, kids are fine.
Mine don't. My grandkids don't either. And they over my dead body, you know.
Oh yeah, that's how I am now. Now I'm like, you better you better throw a holy fit if anybody comes at you with a needle. Period.
Yeah. I told them, you run out of that school. Keep running.
Right. Well, what's crazy is you know, you start looking back when all this stuff happens to you, and I started looking back at like my health history and my kids' health history, and I can line things up to when they got their shots. And my son, it was I think December of like 2019, no, 2020, actually. We had just gotten him the Gardasil shot because he had just turned 12, and he ended up with mono like 2 months later. I didn't know that that was related to the vaccines until this happened to me, because that was like one of the first things that popped up with me was they were like, oh, you have mono. And I'm like, no, I don't. I've been exposed to mono like 8 times and never got it. What do you mean I have mono? No, I don't. And then I found out that the shots actually go in and awaken anything in the body that your body previously fought off. It can go in and just turn it on. So I'm like, oh, that's why my son got mono after his shot. That's why I got mono after mine. That's why both of my kids ended up in the hospital with RSV issues when they were babies. You know, just all this stuff started to click. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I've never gotten my kids any type of vaccinations.
Yeah, I spaced my kids out, just mother's intuition, I guess, where I'm like, no, you're not putting 6 shots, injections into my tiny little baby. No, like I just never allowed that. I spaced them way far apart. So at least I luckily did that, because I feel like it could be totally different if I hadn't, because there's so many things they just hide that no mom has any idea about.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's estrangement between you and your family now that you're figured out what the problem was and fixed it?
Because my illness doesn't match their narrative. You know, it's safe and effective. It saved their lives. I mean, meanwhile, um my brother's married to a woman whose father-in-law had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma for years and had managed to get rid of it and was doing fine. And then all of a sudden he's violently got it, you know, 10 times over and is dead now. But they just won't put they won't connect the dots. It's just this cognitive dissonance thing. I can't get through to them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people are that way. They're coming up with the new concept of a sudden death.
Oh yeah, the sudden adult death syndrome now,
Right.
which I can't believe it. Like, you haven't figured out that the other one was a lie too.
Well, and just this week, didn't we hear about Rod Stewart's son or Rod Stewart's child? I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
having a heart attack or something like that, right?
11 years old. Yeah,
Yeah. That's normal.
this is
Yeah.
stop. You got to get them to stop doing this to people.
Since when do 11-year-olds have heart attacks?
Exactly.
And I said that to somebody one time in a comment. 11-year-olds don't have blood clots and heart attacks. Well, actually, they do. And I'm like, are you gonna really argue this right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's generally speaking, no, they do not.
Yeah. And all these young kids on, soccer and football and all these young athletes, they're supposed to be strong. They work out every day. They don't have any priors. I forget the word for it. But
Yeah, I mean, you take somebody like me who's been heavy her whole life, and I look up to those athletes like, man, I really wish I could be in shape like that. And they're dropping dead too. You know what I mean? There's hello. Something is way off. That's what's crazy to me too, though, is that it's happening on television too. Like YouTube streams, all sporting events, all this stuff. People are just dropping like flies, and everybody seems to just like blink and go on.
So with everything that you did, everything you endured, every doctor that you saw, everything that you did to support your health during the 500 plus days, what do you attribute your recovery to? Is the wand the only change you made that made a difference?
I would say the wand helped the most, of course. Fasting helped obviously because it just does, because it's also something that promotes the body to create stem cells, and autophagy is a great process for the body and all of that. So I would say that those two motives that I use to heal with are the two that work the best. The one absolutely worked 100% the best, and the quickest. We're talking a 48-hour turnaround for me. So, yeah, and I had been fasting for months. Let's just put that out there. I'd been doing intermittent fasting and stuff like that for months, like 18 months off and on. Yeah, and I got really heavy with it in April when my gastro stuff started, but there was no miraculous improvement with that. There was some blood work improvement, but it didn't really improve how I felt. No, the wand is what did that for me.
So did you notice your blood pressure lowering?
Actually, I had taken an enzyme by Dr. Mercola, if you know who he is, a lubricanase enzyme I had taken on the recommendation of another injured who had the same tachycardic issues and blood pressure issues I was having. I took that for like 30 days with intermittent fasting, and it regulated all my blood pressure stuff naturally. So,
What was that?
um, it's Dr. Mercola. It's called lubricanase enzyme, and it's a vasodilator. That's why I think it works. It's all about vascular health with that supplement. So, I think that's why it worked so well, because I think that my theory is, and from what I've seen in the studies I've done on the vaccine injury, is that it makes our blood sticky and thick, and that's why we feel like crap, because our blood can't circulate correctly. That's just my theory, and I feel like when I used the wand, it was like I could just feel it breaking that up, and like all the small little nerve fibers and stuff in my legs and all that. So I felt them all slowly come back to life, and I think it all has to do with good circulation for us.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. I've noticed my legs too, the fibers and the
Yeah, and do you
Oh.
notice too that like you'll still feel kind of numb in some spots? Like I can feel the heat penetrate really hot in some spots, and then other spots I can't feel it at all still. And those are the spots I start to like kind of focus on when I do my sessions, so I can unblock and unclog those spots as well.
Well, I know my legs feel like real legs now and not like these
Yes.
hard knots, everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been such
Yeah,
a
I don't feel like a baby deer.
yeah. So you love the one so much that you decided to become an affiliate, and aren't
Yes.
you like way up there in
Yeah, I jumped to the top pretty quick. I probably won't be at the top for the last couple weeks. Like I said, I've been under a cyber attack, but I'm working with that, working on getting around that. But yeah, I took off really quick, and I think that's because I did document so much of my story. People have been invested emotionally in my story for almost 2 years, and that's a big piece of why I think I've had success, is because people trust me, because I've been very transparent about my experience. I've been very raw, very honest, no censorship. I've been very open. And I think that just seeing that turnaround right in front of their faces real time is just incredible for them as it is for me.
So let me get this right. You met a lot of other people that were vax injured. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And
There's
so
millions. There's millions of us.
and help them.
Oh yeah, that's my goal. Actually, I signed up to be an affiliate because of the free product program, because I know so many injured people. I wanted to give out free wands to those families I knew that don't have good finances. We're in the same pickle, like I was, charging things on credit cards just to survive, that kind of thing. Because it would do one of two things for them. It would, one, help them feel better, hopefully, like it did for me. And then two, if it helps them feel better, then they can share that with their people in their life and help, you know what I mean? Turn their life around the same way that I did, because the
Yeah.
company's amazing. Yeah, the company's amazing. The commission structure is amazing. The product is amazing. So how could I not? How could I not? It
Yeah,
just seemed like the right thing to do.
win-win situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus it's just so rewarding. Like that first round of wands I got out there, getting all those messages back. Oh my gosh, I've had back pain for 20 years and I don't have it now. And just that, it's just incredible stuff.
Yeah, we're
So
doing that every day too. Different
yeah.
call us up. Like this lady this morning. Tell her about the lady this morning, John.
Well, we had a lady this morning call. She just got her wand, and she
Like 2-3 days ago.
yeah,
Okay.
and she has had a lot of issues with mobility.
Okay.
Getting around and stuff. She's older, but she's in a cold area, and there's some challenges with dealing with the weather and terrain and doing things. And
Yeah.
she's so excited because she leaped out of bed and was able to just pop in and out of her Jeep and jump up the steps to the store instead of, pulling herself up with her hands. And
Yeah.
she felt like she was back to normal again. She felt like she could go out and walk like she used to for miles and was just ready to do it.
Yeah.
Just within hours of getting that thing.
That's what's so
After the
crazy.
first
You
time,
just,
yeah.
that pop up out of bed is so remarkable the first time it happens.
Well, and
I'm
not
like,
only that, but she went into this health food store that she goes to every week. And the lady saw her coming up the stairs and she said, "What are you doing?" And she said,
Yeah.
"What do you mean?" She goes, "You look like you're glowing." And she wasn't struggling. She said usually she has to put her hands on her knees to get up those stairs, and kind of assist herself. And she flew up those stairs.
oh my gosh,
She
that's
was
so
so
amazing.
happy. She left us a voice message and called us until we answered and got her story, And I mean, hallelujah. Praise God.
Yes, yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just vaccine injured people that I started to realize that, like, oh, I can help everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that has had sort of an ailment or, no pep in their step for a while or no hope. There's just so many things it can help with. And I feel like when you feel good, everything else in your life can just fall into place.
Well, that's
And
just when you feel crappy, the whole world is just sitting on your shoulders. You don't
right.
have much hope for anything, It's just like another
Right.
day and it's depressing.
It
You get
is.
funk because you can't do anything.
You think people are going to want to reconsider their diets now, what they see that the government's been pumping into us all this time?
I hope
I
so, but
I hope so, because yeah, that's another thing too. I've had a client that came back to me. Well, every time I use it, I get diarrhea. Well, what are you eating in between your wanding sessions? You
Yeah.
have to make better decisions all the way around. Yeah, this will be a great tool, but you do have. I feel like you could really get the full advantage of the tool if you make those better decisions with your food and stuff too. I don't think people realize how much poison is in our food.
no, they don't, because I didn't until just this year I got diagnosed with kidney failure. So
Oh, okay.
I'm on in-home kidney dialysis. But
Oh, okay.
you can't eat anything, You look at all the labels and all the labels have all these poisons in them. And people think, oh, those are just green beans or whatever. No.
No, 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 no.
They add so much crap to it,
Yeah.
and glycosaphates, glycosaphates, am I saying that right? Is in everything.
Yeah, glycosaphate is one of the worst things
Yeah.
for you,
And
period. Like,
everything.
yes, it is. It's really, really awful.
In
I was
hot
actually,
water, and
there's
it's
a,
got sodium, they add salt to it, and it's like, oh my gosh, the
right,
last thing you need when you have kidney problems is salt.
right.
It's been
Yeah, there's actually a line of superfoods that they make where all of that stuff is deleted and you can get like all your fruits and veggies with scoops of whatever. I forget the name of the brand, but it's so expensive, I can't afford it. I'm like,
well, you will
maybe
be
I
able
can.
to pretty soon because you're doing really well now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, maybe I can get my superfoods.
Yeah.
That would be so great because I know it would make me feel so much better because I'm limited. I live in Ohio. I can do a little bit of indoor gardening and whatnot, but I'm pretty limited. I am moving to the country though. I
What
did
part of Ohio, north or?
I'm in so if you know where Dayton and Cincinnati is, do you know
Yeah.
where that is?
Uh-huh.
So I'm 20 minutes north of Dayton. I live in a small town called Troy. It's just a little country town, bunch of cornfields all around me. But I'm moving out to the actual country to a town called Union at the end of this month. We'll be moving because I've lived in a townhouse for the past 10 years, got stuck here kind of because of the COVID thing. And when I was about to buy a house, all the COVID stuff happened. So yeah, I'm like, I had to get out of here, but yeah, we're gonna be moving to the country. It's on a couple acres. I'm like, I want to get everything in my life just into the healing mode now. So that was like one of my first things. I'm like, I want a peaceful, happy environment where I can go out in nature every day if I want to. So
Surround yourself with positive, healthy people
yes,
out there.
yes, yes.
Put it into a a retreat or something.
Yeah, plus I want to have people be able to come over and try it out, like, because a lot of people, they're that's a big purchase for them, so I'm like, come on, try it, let me charge your water for the day, come on, come over. And I just don't feel like I could do that in this apartment complex. They'd yell at me within a day if I had traffic coming in and out.
Well,
So
sounds really promising. You went through all this for a purpose, and I think, you've got a big, greater purpose ahead of you. God's got something in store for you. And I think
thank
it's
you.
to help all these other people that just don't have any hope and they don't know about the iTerra wand. And
Right.
just tell them. So good on you. Good on you. I'm so pleased that you're feeling so much better.
Oh
Is
my
that
gosh, I still can't believe it, to be honest with you. I don't know when it will sink in, but every day I wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not sick. Oh yeah, I'm not sick.
And I am so glad that some divine intervention happened that you didn't take your life. Because
Yeah, I was the closest I had ever been. I had been close many times throughout this experience, but that was the scariest time
yeah,
about
I had,
6 weeks ago. That was the time where I was like, oh shit, I almost did that. Oh God, this is really getting bad. You know what I mean? So I I I had squeezed the trigger just not enough for it to fire, and something stopped me. And I couldn't really tell you what it was. I saw an image of my son's face, and like I didn't want to hurt him anymore because he's already so hurt watching his mom sick. Just he saw the most of it. Like, that's what people don't realize. My son, he saw the worst of the worst with me. He saw me sick more than anybody else on this planet. And I just couldn't imagine hurting him again. Like, because I already watched him hurt. So something stopped
thank
me.
God.
I'm so glad it did. And now just to see his face, like when he'll come around the corner and see me doing something simple, like washing the dishes or changing a load of laundry, and he'll look at me and be like, you're okay, you're not shaking, do you need your cane, do you need your walker, do that kind of stuff. He's bewildered by it too, so that's been pretty fun to just be like all these little things I couldn't do that now I can, and he's like, mom, you just blah blah blah.
That's
So
so awesome. Oh, so awesome.
yeah. Yeah, and I want to give that gift to everybody else. That's important to me. I
Well,
want
so many
I want these
things.
children to get their parents back, because I know so many injured people with kids. I know how hard it is on the families that are watching it. And the families don't understand it. They can't feel what we're feeling. So I'm sure there's a lot of frustration in there too, of like, will you just shut up already? Nobody cares. Because I'm sure that's how it feels, because it's gone on for so long.
Well,
And
when
these
you don't feel good, all you can do is complain, really. It's like,
right.
and they don't
Well, there's not,
understand you.
it's so big. The people don't understand how big that presence is in your world when you're chronically ill like that. It is a haze and a cloud over everything. You can't see through it. It's just not possible.
You find out who your friends and family are, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes.
Yeah.
If ever there was a thing to show you, this is one that'll show you real quick.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're here with us, because your story has touched so many people around the world that we've been sharing your story with, and we're going to just reach out and help as many as we can. And
Yeah, yes, I'm excited. I can't wait. I really do get so much joy out of it. So much joy. And yeah, like you said, this was my purpose. I asked myself many nights, what is the point of all this? What is it? There has to be a point, and I think I found it.
yeah, I think so. You and Ricky Brandino.
Yeah, yeah,
With
I love Ricky too.
it's like,
And that's another thing too, is it's opening the doors to meeting a lot of amazing people like you guys and Ricky and John and Andrea, Kevin's wife. I've made so many new connections with beautiful spirits, and
yeah.
it's just an amazing time.
We have met some phenomenal people. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and the blessings just keep coming.
Yeah.
It's great. I'll take it.
Yes.
I'll take it. I'll stay present in this joy for as long as I can.
I have another question about the wanding. Do you feel like you need to do this now, or are you changing your routine at all? Or
I'm still sticking with my 20 minutes a day, the 6 days on, 2 days off. It's working for me right now. If I need to increase it or decrease it at some point, I will. but it's just a really nice little routine I'm doing. And I don't feel, I don't want to, I have this fear of overdoing it because I would never want my body to adapt to the frequency and the frequency never work on me again. That scares me more than anything, I think.
Mhm.
But I do feel like once I get a lot more of this damage out of here, I'm probably not going to need to use it every single day. It'll probably be a
Maintenance.
as things come up kind of thing, you know?
Have you described your protocol of what you actually do when you wand?
So I'm real simple. So in the mornings, I wand my thyroid for like 5 minutes. That's my like cup of coffee, energy boost. And then I wand my jug of water and I drink that throughout the day. And I do my actual session at night before bed because for whatever reason, the frequency makes me very tired. So, I do it at night. I do a timer for 15 minutes. I do what I call the opening because I do believe in opening the chakras first. So I do my palms of my hands, soles of my feet, backs of my knees, armpits. I do a little bit on my heart, just to open chakras. And then I focus a lot on my head, face, and ears because I had so many neuro issues. And that's just worked really well for me. So I've stuck with it.
Oh, good. Okay. So it's not an onerous protocol at all.
Nope. Nope.
And just
That's the
within
thing is I
two-
just kind of listened to my body and just that's what I did. That's what I recommend to people too. Like get familiar with the chakras and like the acupressure points for whatever your ailment is and just listen to your body. That's what I kind of tell my clients and it seems to work. Especially studying those acupressure points. I think that's really important.
And we
Does
do
your son
chart
use
for those, yeah. Very
What'd you
easy
say?
to follow.
Oh, so
I said we do have charts for those that we send people and they're very easy to follow.
yeah. I found a few PDFs like that show them and yeah. And somebody else asked a question, but I didn't hear what you said.
Does
Well,
your son use it?
Oh, yes. So we've used it on my son for his soccer injury that he had in his knee for it's been like 3 or 4 years. His knee has been given in pain and his knee is pain free now. And we
Oh.
only treated it 3 times
wow.
It's
for
amazing.
about 5 minutes each. Yeah.
Are you using the high heat or the medium heat or using the pro or the classic? What did you use?
I have a premium that Ricky sent me, but to be honest with you, I'm still using the classic because of the penetration. So I'm a bigger person and I want the frequency to get all the way to my bones. So I use it on the cooler setting, the classic on the cooler setting to make sure that that frequency is penetrating all the way to my bones.
You mean it's
Now,
got
when
a number 2 setting?
yes, I use the I actually use number 2 and number 1, just depends. Cause sometimes number 1 can get a little bit cold since the blower's faster. It's
Right.
not really a hot setting. So yeah, I kind of switch between the 1 and the 2. Now for my thyroid that in the morning, I usually use the premium on that because it's fine. I'm fine with getting that real hot and letting it, and for whatever reason, if I do it too much, if I go over that 5 minutes, I could be up for like 2 days.
Really? Really?
So much energy. It's crazy. I don't think my thyroid has ever functioned properly, to be honest with you. I started gaining weight when I was like 6 years old, after my like school age shots. And I had struggled with my weight ever since 6 years old. And then when I started using this wand, I was like, oh, is this what it feels like to have like energy and not, like not feel sluggish all the time? Because I felt like that since I was little.
Well, and I think I've taken my daughter to the thyroid specialist and there's nothing wrong. But I disagree,
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like they've told me, oh, your thyroid's fine, your numbers are fine. I'm like, nah, there's something wrong. There's something wrong if I'm telling you because they're like, keep a food journal, do this. And they were shocked when I brought in my food journal and I was showing them that I was only consuming like 500 to 600 calories a day because my body, for one, I didn't feel hungry. For two, if I ate any more than that, I would gain like exponentially fast. And then for 3, I was huge. Like my weight was so big. They're like, how are you this big with only eating this much? Well, you must be lying to us. You must just be sitting there shoving your face full of whatever, which was never the case. Yes, I've overeaten. So has every human on the planet, but not to the level where my body should have been sustaining that weight. You know what I mean? Scientifically speaking, I should have been dropping tons of weight, but I wasn't. And now, since I've been using the wand, it's just falling off.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
the first week, mine, is mostly water because of the kidneys.
Yes.
I lost like 8 pounds.
Yeah, I lost 14 my first day.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why I felt so much better, I think, within the 48-hour window, because I was so swollen, just so swollen.
Amazing.
I don't take responsibility for my weight because it's
It's
their
the
fault.
worst.
They're the ones that came up with Cow Tracks ice cream. Their fault.
Uh-huh.
If they wouldn't have done that, I'd be just fine. So, just between us, are you planning on sending wands to your family for Christmas presents?
No, because I would never want to waste that money on someone who doesn't believe in the product. So, no,
Good point.
no. I will send them to families that would actually use them and want to heal, though, for sure.
Maybe you could send one wand to the family and let them pass it around. Because all it
Yeah,
takes is one positive
that's true.
reaction.
Not COPD, that would be interesting. COPD.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it? Them all placing orders with me for Christmas.
Yes, it would.
Hi. Hi,
Well,
puppy.
this has been so enjoyable and so informative, and uh, and I'm sure John and Kathy echoed this. I am so happy that you're back on track and you have your life back.
Yes,
It's
me too.
561 days, and we're at 6 weeks and counting. And you're better than you've been for over a year.
Yeah, almost 2 years. Yeah. And that's the thing, is I feel better than I did before my injury. That's another thing that needs to be made clear. This has made me feel better than I did pre-injury. So that's pretty substantial change.
Yes, yes.
That's really interesting. That's great.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, I was always like a go getter, and I love to work, and I've always been a workaholic and all that stuff, but I was always pushing myself and dragging, but I've been pretty busy with this business and talking to clients and helping my downline and all that stuff. We're talking like 20-hour days sometimes, most of the time at least 12 or 16 of me just constantly in contact with my people, and I'm fine. I don't feel like I'm dragging. I don't feel sluggish. I still have trouble sleeping at night because I'm like, oh, I have so much to do.
Yes, I know the feeling.
So, and I slept my life away for 561 days, so it's really hard to sleep now because I'm like,
She's got
I
our
slept
schedule.
plenty. Mhm. Yep.
That's just incredible. What an incredible story. So,
And as soon as your story turned and went against the narrative, the haters came out of the woodwork.
Oh yeah. I guess the haters exist even in the injured community, which is crazy. I guess some people are just gonna, like, being injured is gonna be their identity indefinitely, and getting better is a threat to them. I don't know. It's very
power for
strange.
some people in being a victim, that's for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's definitely happening right before our eyes. You might run into some of those people actually. There's a whole little group of them going around saying that we're poisoning people and there's poisonous EMF coming from it. That's why I did an EMF video, stuff like that. So yeah, just watch out for those. They're around there.
Yeah. Well, there's some in every crowd, but
Oh yeah.
everybody we've brought in so far have had just positive results. Thank God.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That there's only two that have had negative results out of hundreds that we've talked to so far. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to be out there, they're going to try, but there's way too many positive results for them to ever outshine the positive results. They won't. So,
Mhm. Yep.
and if they would just follow directions and listen to their sponsor, they wouldn't be in the boat they're in.
That's just it. We find people don't read anymore.
Right. They don't. And they just expect like miraculous things to happen. Like, you do have to put some effort in. You do have to read directions.
Yeah. Exactly. You have to know how to turn the power button on your computer.
Yeah, I've had people call me about that too. This one doesn't work well. Did you push the reset button on the plug?
Turn it on. It's like a hair dryer.
Yep.
You know?
That's funny though. That's just part of the human nature. But yeah, there's so many good things happening with this product and the results. I just, good
Oh,
luck.
there's
Good luck
just
trying to take us down.
thousands of positive testimonies out there. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah. And just growing every day. Like when I started adding people to that testimonials group before I had my one, I think there was only like 12,000 people in ours. And now that's up to like 30,000.
yeah,
So yeah, it's growing really quick. And I just had a person in my downline make 16 sales in a day.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm so proud of her because she was in Facebook jail and she's like, I'm so excited. She bought a wand from me. She's followed my story. She's a very, very spiritual, very, very cool person. I always liked her, felt very drawn to her. And I'm like, you're gonna do great at this. Just wait. So she finally got out of Facebook jail. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like I told you. So I'm super proud of her. She's doing great. Been working with her this week during my cyber attack downtime. But yeah, we're
Amazing.
gonna be doing lots of amazing things, and I'm so glad to talk to you guys. And thank you for including me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're so honored to have you with us. We really are.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here, and it feels weird to say that, but I am. I really am.
Kindred spirits. All right.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully, I get to hug you all one day. That's my goal too. I want to hug all these people that I'm meeting and conversing with. I just want to hug you. I'm a hugger.
Well, we'll all have to hit Vegas next time they have a big convention.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely.
John was at the one in September and there was a couple hundred people. So next time there'll probably be at least a couple thousand because we've grown so much. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
this is the easiest thing to sell because it works.
It doesn't feel like sales to me.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it's just sharing. We have
Yeah.
people calling us all day long. Can I get one of those things? Sure. Onward and upward.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Just working out the kinks as we go.
So, how did you find the wand?
Kevin Street, him and I were in like the injured people, we kind of like grouped together. We had support groups, all kinds of stuff like that. Kevin and I ended up in a smaller one together. We were kind of like the jokesters of the group, always, just trying to keep it light, dark humor, but so he got the wand from John. John actually sent him the wand. And Kevin was even worse with his neurological issues than I was. He was even worse at walking than I was. He had just gotten a service dog because he would fall and collapse all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he used the wand twice, and within 2 sessions, he was walking on his own. And
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, wait a minute. I was like, what is that thing? I actually immediately went and looked up the company. I actually looked up to see if it was a publicly traded stock because I was like, if this is really what working for this, I need to buy these stocks because this is going to explode. Like I just had this gut feeling. So after about a week of watching his progress and how but he went from, because after like 2 sessions he was walking, but he was still kind of baby deerish, like his legs
Yeah.
still weren't steady. He was still a little bit unstable. But after a week of use, and he was only using it every other day, he was walking normal, like completely normal, jogging up and down the stairs. And I was
That's
like, well,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, well, it's time to order one. And I just threw it on a credit card and said, here we go. Cause I'm like, I had just gotten that loan to pay off my credit cards. I'm like, I can't charge anything. But I had to. I just had to try it because I just knew. Like I said, I had that gut feeling when I first saw his results, and I immediately went and researched the company and the tech and all of that. So yeah, that's how I made my decision, was seeing him jog up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
He's super cool, dude. He's got a huge following in Canada. I'm so excited about this product. I can't get it. I can't get all I want done fast enough, if that makes sense. I'm sure you'd understand what I mean.
Well, sir, we're creating a community of
Yeah.
people that have something very much in common.
Yeah.
And that I think that's going to pay dividends down the road because we're coming into some hard times. Have any of your doctors talked about evaluating your level of spike protein?
No, none of them will do that. I've tried. I've
Yeah.
asked them about doing that.
Spike proteins don't exist in their world, John.
Yeah, that's true. I did have one doctor that came in and told me, he was like the second doctor I saw at the hospital. He's the only doctor during the whole thing that just came right out and said, yeah, the vaccine did this. He actually is the one that tested my D dimer in the beginning, and it was so high. It was ridiculous. But But yeah, that's why they said I was spitting blood and stuff, is because of my D-dimer being so high. They did put me, that doctor actually did admit me to the hospital, immediately put me on heparin shots on my belly because my blood clotting factor was so high.
Oh, yeah.
So he probably did save me on some level, because I could have thrown a clot at any time during that portion of it. But he, because he told me that, I was real careful with my diet, and also took like aspirin supplements just in case, just to be careful and make sure my blood stayed thin.
Mhm.
But yeah, oh my gosh, it is crazy to look back and think about all the stuff I went through. Not to mention all the barbaric tests I've been through, the EEGs and the lumbar puncture and the hours and hours of MRI machines, and it's just all that stuff is crazy too. I think my record for vials of blood was like 26 vials they took at once.
Wow.
At
Yeah.
once? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and my blood would be dark and thick when it would come out in the tube. It would clot in the tube sometimes, and I'm like, that's not normal. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, it was wild. They'd pull my blood out and they'd look at it. You know, the phlebotomist always kind of flips the blood back and forth and like looks at it. They'd be staring at it, and I'm like, I know, it's black. They're like, yeah, I've never seen blood this dark. I'm like, yeah, huh?
Well, I can't thank you enough. We're really impressed and proud and really appreciative of you talking to us. Really.
Well, I thank you for including me. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you guys. It's exciting stuff. Very happy.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I got
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you so much for including me. I appreciate you guys all so much. I can't even say it enough. So thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Congratulations.
Thank you guys. You guys have a good weekend, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
This program is not intended to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease and should not be considered medical advice. Viewers are directed to consult their own professional sources before acting on any information presented here. For more information on the iTerra Classic Wand, please visit iteraplanet.com. That's ITERA planet.com. Thank you for joining us.